Have you ever felt that there's an invisible limit to what you can own? We live in a world where your freedom ends, where the government's radio signal begins, while you use your smartphone for mundane tasks. There's a technological arsenal hidden on import websites that can give you powers that the authorities detest. We're talking about tools that transform an ordinary civilian into a digital ghost, capable of opening armored doors, taking down communication networks, and even manipulating the traffic of an entire city. Why are these objects so feared? Because they give control to the individual, and control is the only thing the system doesn't share. Today, on List 15, we're going to delve into the underworld of outlaw gadgets. Get ready, these are the 15 prohibited devices you'd probably want to own, even if it cost you your freedom. 15. Garmin InReach and State Surveillance. The Garmin InReach is not just a watch, it's a portable satellite modem. The problem for countries like India is that it uses the Iridium network, which operates independently of any government-controlled terrestrial infrastructure. In 2023, a Scottish tourist was detained at Delhi airport simply for carrying the device in her backpack. Indian authorities enforced the Wireless Telegraphy Act, which prohibits any transmission they cannot intercept. 14. Flipper Zero. The Tamagotchi of cybercrime, the Flipper Zero gained fame on TikTok, but its power is real and dangerous. It has a sub-1 GHz antenna, which allows it to capture long-range radio signals, such as those used in old garage door openers or doorbell systems. In addition, its ability to emulate NFC allows it to read contactless credit cards or employee badges. In Brazil, Anatel, the Brazilian telecommunications agency, began sealing shipments of this device because it considers it a tool that facilitates crime, since it reduces the barrier of technical knowledge needed to hack into wireless systems. 13. Stingrays, IMSI catchers. The digital fake friend stingrays are essentially imposter cell towers. They exploit a flaw in the GSM protocol that causes your cell phone to always connect to the tower with the strongest signal. Once connected, the Stingray operator can send fake text messages to your device or even install spyware without you realizing it. In the United States, civilian use is severely punished under protected communications interception laws and can result in up to 20 years in federal prison. 12. Hardware keyloggers and spy USB cables. There are USB cables that look like genuine Apple or Samsung cables, but contain a hidden microchip. They create an invisible Wi-Fi access point that allows a hacker in a nearby car to see exactly what you are typing on your computer. The law treats this as illegal wiretapping. Cases of company managers who used these devices to monitor employees have resulted in serious criminal charges, as the law understands that keyboard privacy is an extension of thought privacy. 11. Disguised stun guns. The illegal element of surprise, a flashlight that fires 650,000 volts, seems like the ideal self-defense item, but the disguise is what lands you in jail. In the UK and parts of Europe, any stun gun is illegal. But if it's disguised as a lipstick or cell phone, the bearer is treated as someone carrying a concealed firearm. Police argue that these items are designed for stealth attacks, not just self-defense, which completely changes the legal interpretation of possession. 10. Diesel delete kits. The battle against ecology. These devices trick the onboard computer ECU of pickup trucks to ignore pollution sensors. By doing so, the vehicle releases carcinogenic soot particles directly into the atmosphere. The EPA, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, has launched a crusade against workshops that sell these kits, imposing fines of millions of dollars. For the government, this is not about performance, but about a mass environmental crime committed by individuals seeking mechanical freedom at the expense of public health. 9. License plate flippers popularized in action movies. These devices use electric motors to rotate the original license plate and display a fake one, or just a black plate. In states like Tennessee, possessing one of these installed is a crime that can result in immediate arrest. The technology is simple, but its application is seen as a direct attempt to defraud the state and jeopardize public safety by preventing vehicle identification in crimes or accidents. 8. Tactical pens and flight security. The body of these pens is made of aircraft-grade aluminum, making them indestructible. Some have an impact crown that, in addition to serving for personal defense, is designed to collect DNA skin samples from the attacker. Because of this aggressive functionality, the TSA airport security frequently classifies them as bladed weapons. Traveling with one of these can result in hours of interrogation and the confiscation of the item, labeling you as a higher-risk passenger. 7. USB killer. High voltage sabotage. The USB killer charges internal capacitors using the power from the USB port itself and then repeatedly discharges a 200-volt DC surge through the data lines. This instantly destroys the USB controller and often the computer's central processing unit. In 2019, a college student was convicted after destroying 66 computers at his college with one of these, accumulating nearly $60,000 in damages and facing federal sabotage charges. 6. USB rubber ducky. The swift intruder, the rubber ducky, is the opposite of the USB killer. It's intelligent, not violent. It executes key injection scripts, payloads that can disable antivirus software, open the command terminal, and send your files to a remote server in less than 10 seconds. It's dangerous because the computer trusts it as if it were a human keyboard. If you are caught with a rubber ducky connected to a public or corporate network, the legal presumption is espionage and data intrusion, crimes with severe prison sentences. 5. GPS jammers and chaos in air traffic. GPS jammers transmit noise at a frequency of 1575.42 MHz, preventing any nearby receiver from connecting to satellites. A real case in New Jersey involved a driver who installed a jammer so his company wouldn't track him. He ended up interfering with the landing system at Newark Airport. The U.S. federal government imposed a record fine of $32,000 and seized the equipment. Interfering with airspace is one of the most serious technological crimes, as it puts hundreds of lives at risk for the sake of individual privacy. For mod chips and the protection of giants, mod chips allow consoles to bypass DRM digital rights management to run pirated games. The group Team Zacuter became the main target of the FBI for selling chips for the Nintendo Switch. One of its leaders, Gary Bowser, was sentenced to more than 3 years in prison and ordered to pay $14.5 million in damages. This case sent a clear warning: altering the hardware of a large corporation for piracy purposes is not a hobby. It is organized crime in the eyes of international justice. 3. Radar jammers. Direct confrontation with the police. Unlike detectors, radar jammers emit radio waves that interfere with the police gun's signal, preventing it from calculating speed. However, modern guns have algorithms that detect the interference. When the police officer sees the error on the display, they have legal grounds to stop the car on suspicion of possessing prohibited equipment. In the US, the fine can reach $50,000 and the driver can face up to 5 years in prison for violating FCC transmission regulations. 2. Mojo lens and the future of hidden privacy. Mojo lenses are smart contact lenses with micro displays that project information directly onto the retina. The major legal obstacle is not the enhanced vision, but the data collection. If these lenses can covertly record video, they violate two-party consent laws in effect in many states and countries. Privacy regulators are already considering banning their use in public places, fearing that the technology will turn every citizen into an undetectable walking surveillance camera. 1. MRT's traffic light changers, urban manipulation. The mobile infrared transmitter, MRT, is the most prohibited device on this list. It emits a specific infrared pulse that alerts traffic light sensors that an emergency vehicle is approaching, forcing the light to turn green. Since 2005, the use of MRTs by civilians has been a federal crime in the USA. The reason is obvious. By opening a signal out of time, you can cause fatal collisions at intersections. Having control of the city's traffic flow in your hands is the ultimate illegal convenience, and the law has zero tolerance for those who try to play emergency vehicle.